Voucher! Hello and welcome to Keith's Whisky Vlog. Whisky tasting review for you here today, and in this video we are going to do quite an interesting little whisky. I am going outside my comfort zone. We're sticking to single malts, however not single malt Scotch. We're going abroad. We're going east. We're going to Scandinavia, and we're going to be trying a little whisky from Sweden. Now there's a company that do in the sort of individual bottlings, independent bottler, called the Whisky Cellar, as in underground, under the house cellar, C-E-L-L-A-R. Little double play in words there. So the Whisky Cellar, and they've got different ranges, and in this year 2021, brand new on the market, they've got two new whiskies out that they're marketing under the Easy Sipper label. One is a 25-year-old single grain whisky from the Invergordon distillery. Not tried that at all yet, but I'm going to try their other expression, which is contained under here, under the golden whisky tube, and it is from Sweden, the Swedish distillery Mackmyra. Hopefully I'm somewhere close to the correct pronunciation. And it's an 8-year-old. Now the Easy Sipper marketing, the label if you like, it's very funky, it's quite a fun look, a little bit California dreaming, a little bit of sort of the Beatles Yellow Submarine, that sort of idea, as you can see. And obviously the name Easy Sipper, nice easy whiskies. I don't think they take themselves too seriously. Obviously they take themselves seriously, but in a fun way. They want to enjoy drinking whisky. Now, big unveil. Got a little sample. I got this sample from the kind people at the Whisky Castle whisky shop up in Tomintoul, the Whisky Castle and Highland Market, run by a lovely couple, Scott and Sam. So hello to you. Thank you, Scott, for this little sample. So complimentary. I haven't paid for this, but I've not tried it. All opinions are my own. I'm not on any commission or anything like that, so I'm going to have a little drink of it, tell you what I think of it. Really interested, never tried a Swedish whisky before. I might be a little bit parochial, but as far as I'm concerned, there are more than enough whiskies, especially single malts in Scotland, to be getting on with. So I'm going to work through as many of those as I can. However, when something like this crosses my path, I am not going to say no. Now the Whisky Cellar, I believe it's a sort of family run business. Scott did tell me the guy's name, it was Keith something, obviously I'm going to remember that, and I'm pretty sure he used to work at Macallan, so he's coming from a decent whisky pedigree. Macallan, a big name in Scottish whisky. Now this is a whisky that is 8 years old, I think I might have mentioned, and apparently what they do at Mackmyra is they mature their whisky in an old mine. So around about 50 metres underground. Now I've tried whisky from Bowmore before, which is matured under sea level, but don't know, 5 metres underground maybe. So 50 metres underground, whatever difference that makes, who knows. But anything that's got a little quirk to it, something a little bit different, not just from Sweden, but actually matured underground. I believe that they mature their whisky in Swedish oak barrels as well. And if I recall correctly, I think it's a 30-litre barrel that they have devised, invented, stumbled across. So they do things a little bit differently, but we're talking single malt, single distillery. I think it is Swedish barley, obviously spring water, and Swedish oak. So something certainly a little bit different. It's 8 years old, but there's a good bit of colour on this one. Why am I talking? I could be drinking. Let's get on with it. So on the nose, let's see what happens. Tempted to have a little sniff before I even pour it, but I shall wait till it's in the glass. Every last drop. So a really nice colour, real sort of, not too dark. I wouldn't say there's any sort of sherry oak here. Sherry cask, I should say. It's not that sort of reddy. It's a real sort of, I don't know, real sort of toffee style colour. So this comes in at 49.5%. So nothing ridiculous, but it's got a good oomph about it. So on the nose, Whisky Tour Guide Keith, smelling Swedish single malt for the first time. A bit of strength there. There's a real sort of toffee coming through straight away. Real sort of fruitiness. It's a different type of fruit from normal. You're also a little bit banana. I don't usually get banana. So real sort of banana and toffee, which would obviously push it towards a banoffee pie. There's that sort of biscuity maltiness almost as well. Now these are not ingredients. It's not like they're putting banoffee pie into the barrels. This is the flavour notes that you get off it. A little bit of sort of resinous, that sort of strength that's coming off it. There used to be a tube of sweets you got, I think they are discontinued, called toffos, and one of the toffos you got, they were obviously toffee, but they had different flavours. That sort of treacle toffee, it's their normal toffee, but they had a banana toffee, I'm pretty sure, if I remember rightly. You're going back to your childhood. It's got that banana toffee, a real interesting sweetness. Quite light, quite smooth. So colour wise, if you can see it here, quite dark as well. On the nose, very interesting. Quite liking what I can smell so far. Hopefully it tastes, if it tastes half as good as it smells, it'll be good. So it reminds me straight away, I've tasted something like this before. Oh, that'll come to me hopefully. Certainly, I'd go Speyside straight away. So you've definitely got a bit of wood there, that resinous. A little bit of sort of shoe polish almost. Not just as much sweetness, not getting as much of the banana, more toffee, a little bit of orangey coming through now, sort of sweet orange. And a bit thicker somehow. More sort of sultana, raisin, date, that sort of area. So thicker, a bit heavier, not as light and sweet, flowery sweet on the nose, darker, thicker, chewier almost in the mouth. But very, even still on the nose, still getting that banana toffee. Really nice in the nose. It really reminds me of drinking whiskies in Craigbar in Granton-on-Spey, on Speyside. So hello Robbie, hello Beryl if you're watching. Lovely wee whiskey bar, mentioned it before, but I will tend up there to try more Speysides, especially Speysides I've not tried before. I'll not drink too many, as in say 3 from the same distillery. I'll have one and one from different distilleries. And that's what it's reminding me of. So we're looking at probably something like a Mortlach. Tried recently up there. That sort of Speyside whiskey. So quite classic. Nothing. There's no smokiness. There's no sort of maritime notes that I'm getting. Woodiness, the toffiness, and then a thicker in the mouth. As I say, the sort of the dates, the sultanas, the raisins. Very interesting. So very different on the nose compared to the taste. Let's see what happens with a little bit of water. 4 full drops. So for an 8-year-old, getting a lot off this. Very good in colour, good in flavour, thick. It's not lacking in anything, it's very full. Much lighter now. A lot less of the toffee. Quite high in the mouth. It's lacking down the bottom now. It's sort of moved up somehow. A bit creamy. Sort of thick, heavy cream, not light and dreamy. Still a bit of banana there. Toffee's coming a little bit later. And it's lifted from the heavy sort of booze soaked fruits of your raisins or sultanas. Bit tartar, a bit more sort of dry now. It's making me a little bit somehow. It's actually very dry. What I'm going to do is add a little bit more water. I don't usually do that in tasting videos, but see if we can get a wee bit more. A real sort of tingle, a bit of spiciness now as well. Maybe 5 drops, so I think we're at 9 drops of water. Unprecedented in Whisky Tour Guide Keith videos. A lot less Speyside-y with the water. Very Speyside, neat. I'm getting a sort of real late heat coming down now as well. It's really nice, quite full, quite well balanced. Yeah, so quite dry. Dark creaminess, almost sort of dark chocolate. Not quite bitter, but that, not sweet. Interesting. I like it with a little bit extra water. I'm going to put even a little bit more water in. But as I say, the heat that's coming down a little bit with the 49.5%. Just taking that edge off it. Why not? Really like this one. Would take my while, take my time drinking it. This would, it's hard to say. It'd go well on a sort of whiskey cocktail. It's got a real thickness, a real body about it. It wouldn't go missing. It would add. So there's my introduction to Scandinavian whiskey, Mackmyra. I would happily try other expressions, happily. Really quite enjoyed this one. If you're looking for a bottle, it's only available in selected outlets. I mentioned the Whisky Castle and Highland Market in Tomintoul, the Scottish Highlands. I think there are 2 or 3 other shops. I think the Aberdeen Whisky Shop, 1 or 2 others, around about 60 to 65 pounds a bottle, something like that. So quite an interesting start to the Easy Sipper from the Whisky Cellar. So hopefully you found this interesting. Thank you for watching. Check out my other videos, as well as doing your standard age statement, standard expressions, co-expressions from different distilleries. Doing the job that I do, I also try to give you a little insight into some exclusive, unusual, harder to reach, harder to find whiskies as well. So hopefully this fulfills that brief. Now usually I sign off with a little Slanjava, good old Scots Gaelic. Good health, however, as they say, I believe in Scandinavia, Skål. Cheers.